Most cultures entered the 21st century gradually, over generations. A small remote village in China has made this transition in mere months. Caught in a government relocation program, Hongshui Village has leapfrogged from the primitive lifestyle that has been a cornerstone of their society to embracing what today's China has to offer in material goods and popular culture. But accelerated modernization comes at a cost. The villagers are leaving behind the last, most pristine Li village in China, and with it, the last vestiges of their traditional customs and heritage. The Li people are one of the 55 minority ethnic groups in China. Today, 94% of the 1.3 million Li people live off the southern coast of mainland China, on the tropical island of Hainan. Hongshui Village, also known as the Little Tibet of Hainan, is nested in the rugged Bawangling mountain range. The village is divided into 4 sub-villages: Eli, Nanli, Nanfang, Tongcai. With 138 families totaling 688 villages, the most unique aspect about Hongshui Village is the sheer number of traditional adobe and thatch houses still intact. However, since 2007, Hongshui Village is scheduled for demolition as part of the new housing policy of the Hainan government. It was in the same year, 3rd March, when explorer Wang Haoman with the China Exploration and Research Society chanced upon the village.
We were seeing that coming in, we saw bulldozer also coming through too. And then when talking to the villagers, they said, well, soon the village will be gone. They were on track that from the date they told me that by March 15, they're ready to start bulldozing some of these houses.
原来我们这边的也是每家户都是住那个茅草屋，所以他们刚好是政策说要来改造民房，就全部都拆完了，拆完又就现在就不存在那茅草屋了。 他就拆完，就是要那高机来平整地，要搞那个平顶房，所以他现在就不存在那茅草屋。
The Li have no written language. There are neither tangible books nor manuscripts to pass down to later generations. Because of this, these primitive adobe and thatch houses contain the past of the villagers, their history, culture, and knowledge. These simple huts are crucial to the preservation of the material and cultural heritage of a unique ethnic group of China.
那么呢，也在云南等地呢看到一些现象，就是在几年前人们在讲消灭茅草屋。那么确实呢，从某个角度来看，茅草屋的居住环境非常差。 容易起火，那么老百姓呢，永远是在黑暗中生活。这个呢是当时呢，就是对于很多政府官员们来讲呢，是一件应该做的事情。觉得呢，就是让住茅草屋的这些老百姓住上更好的房子。
不喜欢住，因为它就起火最快的，天气热的话。 起火也很快的，他就已经有经验过住那个茅草房啊，一烧啊，整个村都烧光了，一点都没有烧都连到烧的木棍都是烧干净的，一点都没有嘞。茅草屋呢，它那个起火很大的。
现在你住在那个茅草屋，你觉得舒服吗？
不舒服。 应该要搞那个平房住，那才舒服。这样，搞那个茅草房，风吹了了，这样。但是应该要搞平房，那才睡得好，住得好。
As part of the new housing policy, the government gives each family 5 tons of cement and 18,000 bricks, as well as some financial subsidy. However, these raw materials are not sufficient for the construction of a complete concrete house. Skilled construction workers are hired from other provinces such as Sichuan. Each household needs an additional 30 to 60,000 yuan in order to construct a well-furnished concrete house. For a rural farmer, this amount of money is often impossible to attain. Traditionally, the paddy fields provided just enough to feed their families, but this need for more money is changing the way they use their land. Now, sections of their small plots are divided for the planting of rubber trees, which will enable them to sell modest amounts of rubber to nearby towns such as Shilu as raw materials for tires and slippers.
那一间呢3.5块，那里真的
一斤3.5块。哇，不是很多钱哦。
以前那个高价一点，现在能搞生意啊，没钱了。如果我们有钱的话，我们就搞房子咯。现在没钱了，你搞那个平顶又没钱，没钱就住这里。
Many began construction with their available raw materials and started to live in these half-built concrete houses. In Nanfang sub-village, all villagers have shifted from their traditional houses to the semi-constructed concrete ones. The deputy chief of Nanfang has completed the shift into his new home. Today, he lives together with his wife and 3 children.
现在你住进这里有多久了？
几个月吧。
哦，这里才住上几个月？
住几个月。我搞那个房子从第2月份开始搞，到6月份就搞好了。
这样子，你喜欢茅草屋还是你喜欢这个？
我就喜欢这个。茅草我就住很久了，好久住。
不会留恋茅草屋吗？
留念就留念了，这没有茅草去盖。
Lin Yulian continues to live with his mother, who is 106 years old. Today, their house remains the longest-standing adobe house in Hongshui Village.
如果洪水村全部变成平顶房，你会开心吗？
真不开心。我们搞平顶房，反正我们这个。 村容村貌了嘛，怎么不喜欢呢？茅草房就有了，我们的隔壁茅草房了嘛。是。
你觉得茅草房值得保留下来吗？
值得，因为茅草房要是铲除了，我们的祖宗遗物就没有了。 下代子子孙孙就看不到这种房子了。
你高兴吗？
不高兴。
讲一下为什么你不高兴？
我说，如果我不习惯的话，我像我一样住在那边会哭了，都不习惯。刚刚住的会不习惯，你知道。 为什么我们要去那边吃饭，要去那边住？你知道不？才回来，你知道不？因为这样才能让人家习惯的。我们整个村都要这样，才能让我们睡的习惯、吃的习惯呢。
原本是这样想，要是有一大笔钱，我就先搞底下一层是搞水泥屋。 上面一层就搭一间茅草房在顶上，这样我还可以，这样蛮美观的。
Although some villagers lament the loss of their traditional adobe homes, none has a realistic plan on how to preserve them. As part of the forest conservation policy, burning is now forbidden in the hills. Since burning is necessary for the growth of thatch, it's no longer possible to build an adobe house using traditional methods.
For us, it's actually an opportunity to be able to contribute to the future remembrance of the Li people. And as I said, perhaps at this current moment, they may not appreciate or understand it. But I've seen enough cases that knowing that in retrospect, by the time we care about it, by the time we want to turn back the clock, it's not possible. So I don't need them to be thankful. If it happens that way, great. You know, future generations suddenly, oh, there's a record of their own past.
In 2007, the China Exploration and Research Society set foot here and acquired 9 traditional houses from the village, which have been refurbished and converted into facilities to cater to the basic needs of researchers, students, and experts. Currently, they are looking at converting more of such traditional houses into facilities such as a cultural artifact museum, a library to house the resources related to the Li people, and an exhibition center to screen films and photographs of the Li people.
应该说呢，这是一个一举两得的事情。旅游可以开发了，然后老百姓过上好日子了。那么同时呢，他们在保护茅草屋的同时呢，也在对茅草房做改造，把里面的设施尽可能的建立健全。那么这也是一种保护方式，应该说。但是我就在想呢，就是从我个人的心态上来讲，我觉得这样的一种保护，它有很好的一面，但那个不好的一面，对于我个人来说，我觉得挺难以接受的，就是它不纯粹了。这个地方的老百姓不再安宁了，他们的生活不再那么安详了，他们会有欲望的，大量的城市的游客涌进来。带进来很多很多他们以前从来没见到过的东西，那在他们的心中会产生冲突的。那当这种东西在他们的心中落脚了的时候，他们内心的那份平静，生活中的那份平静就没有了。那你再看到的东西就不是纯粹的了。
那边连着，那边狗的背。他说喜欢他穿像我这样衣服。
喜欢他穿什么？
穿像我这样的衣服。
就是你身上的衣服。喜欢婆婆穿那个刚才婆婆拿出来的衣服吗？
mất ôm là phiền má đến mất ôm là phiền đến này.
哎，
不喜欢。
为什么不喜欢？
我妹啊呀，
这样这样嘞。
不好看。他说不好看。
你穿的这件就比较好看吗？
nếu mà anh sắp thành cái thân giang.
Cái thành cái khung thân giang như tụi bay.
But I also recognize that just by being here, I'm affecting the authenticity of a village like this, that it's not the way it was, you know, even 10 years ago, now that we're here. But I'm not sure, it's inevitable that that's going to happen. There's going to be changes, there's going to be more and more visitors to a village like this, and it's going to change the makeup of it, the authenticity of it. But that's modern progress, I guess. The world becomes one global village.
The lure of the city has already begun. Lin Li left the village 10 years ago when she was 19 for what she hoped would be a better future in the city. Today she lives in Sanya, the busiest tourist center of Hainan, bustling with theme parks, resorts and hotels.
小的时候，小的时候，我也是很羡慕人在外面打工的时候，也想想，哇，人家为什么命好好？我看到人家带一家人来吃饭，我们就伺候人家，然后觉得，哦，好羡慕人家，心里面总是，然后回到宿舍里面，然后自己落泪，然后，哎呀。都怪自己的命好，投胎到那么偏远的地方，然后就是把自己的弄成那么辛苦，就是这样，有时候就这样想。
还有没有想过回去洪水村？还有没有想过回去洪水村？
没有，我没想回去，因为那个出来的就想嫁到外面去，就不想回去了。
The transition is in full force. Thatch is morphing to concrete. Satellite cables run down the adobe walls. Motorcycles steer through the muddy walkways and little girls sing along to Chinese pop, while their grandmothers, sporting facial tattoos, look on in wonder. The villagers no longer see their traditions as relevant and instead simply desire to move on, to embrace modernity and improve their lives. As with the face tattoo of the elder woman among the Li people, such traditional markings are fading fast into obscurity, until one day, such historical practice would die out completely, with the passing of the last tattoo lady of the Li people.
It's far easier to walk away from it and write about it and mourn the passing of yet another cultural heritage than to step in and try to at least to conserve it. And especially for me, conservation, it doesn't mean preserving things as is, especially in the modern age. I think that's going to take a lot of resources for people to maintain things as is. We want to, as explorer, I really want to be innovative and find new meaning for things. How do you still have life in what we're trying to preserve? What I like to call equitable conservation. How do you deliver value beyond just preserving things as static, something that's already dead?
The speed and drama of the change in this small village resonates to our own lives. We too are adjusting to a rapidly evolving society, encountering change so dramatic that we worry about our children and struggle to adapt. In a distant mountain valley, we can see a metaphor for ourselves and the passing of our own cultural heritage. The objects and buildings that we so easily discard hold the memory of how we once lived. Once thrown away, the life too is forgotten.